Celebrate Life International, and this is what it says. Don't know if you remember me or not. My name's Abel Gavon. Just FYI, I'm no longer terrorizing my county and destroying the property of my city. But I joined the United States Navy, and I'm representing democracy around this world for my country. Thank you for changing my life and helping me through the Teach One to Lead One program. Let me tell you something about Teach One to Lead One. It's not magical. It's just concerned community leaders who say we're going to give an hour and a half of our week going into the courts, going into the schools, and say, I want to mentor you. I'm not perfect, but I do have something I want to share with you. And that curriculum gives you the form, and you're not alone in doing that. Why am I here? Why am I in Volusia County? You have 73 schools in Volusia County. 16 cities make up Volusia County. You have 64,000 kids in Volusia County. And you have some leaders here that believe that Volusia County can change the statistics right now. In DeLand High School, you have an 82% graduation rate. My question is, what about the other 18%? Where are they? What's happening to them? Are they on the streets? Are they the Abel Gavons? What's going on in their lives? Deltona High School, 77% graduation rate. Where's the other 23%? If you just take those two high schools and you look at the percentage, you're looking at approximately 1,300 kids that are unaccounted for in the area of graduation. In those two schools, you times that by 10 years, you've got about 13,000 kids. Where are they going? What are they doing? Destroying property, hot wiring cars, stealing. And then they have their own kids, and that problem continues to perpetuate, because those kids only see that role model back and forth. But I'll tell you what, you know what Martin Luther King said? This world is a dangerous place, not because of people who do evil, but because of people who look on and do nothing. That's what makes it dangerous. And when a county of people rise up and say, we will not look on and do nothing. We will do something about this. First and foremost, because I can. And second, because I must. The other thing Winston Churchill said, you're either part of the solution or you're part of the problem. There is no middle ground. And so the question is Volusia County a dangerous place? If it is, it's not because of those who do evil. It's because there are some who look on and do nothing. But that is not you. You are here, you're looking on and saying, I want to hear more. I want to know what to do. My Refuge Center has brought Teach One to Lead One into Volusia County. And they have caught such a vision that they want to get Teach One to Lead One into the more courts, into more schools, but they don't want to just stop there. They want to bring an educational piece that those 1,300 kids every single year that are unaccounted for when it comes to the graduation rate, they want to put in place not only kind of an extension, they want to do the Teach One to Lead One, but to educate those kids so that they can get their GEDs. And not only stop there, but then to have them employed to do a long-term solution of transformation. Getting the kids like Abel Gavon and having them come out a responsible citizen that's positively contributing back to their community. My Refuge Center invited me here today and invited you here today to invite you to say, would you want to be part of this momentum? Be a part of taking an at-risk kid that we will either pay later in taxes or now in transformation, but either way, we're going to pay. It costs our society $1.7 million for every kid that drops out of school and gets involved in drugs and crime. And my Refuge Center is saying this. We want to get to that kid before the $1.7 million comes to each one of our pocketbooks. Get them and Teach One to Lead One. educational piece that lets them finish their education and does something intentional to do that, and then to put them in employment so that then they, when they have their children, can replicate that same kind of positive process, teaching them how to lead another one. It is a long-term solution to a crisis. And if people will rise up and say, I want to do something of significance, it will require not only our time, but it will require our finances, because nothing is free. Nothing is free. And my challenge to us is this. Every single one of us in this room can do something. It might be $5 or it might be 5,000. All I know is my refuge center is saying we want to do something in Volusia County that is so transformational that we are not willing to do shortcuts, patches, sugar sticks, or anything. We want long-term transformation. Teach one to lead one, education, and then employment to bring about a healthy, responsible citizen. I went to Calcutta, India to meet Mother Teresa. I went 5 times over a 10-year period. Met with her 4 of those times. I'm not a Catholic and I'm not a nun. I'm pretty sure you could make that out. I'm not a nun. Got over there and went to one of her homes for mentally challenged children. When I walked into this home, there was a little girl about 4 or 5 years old. She had deformed legs, crippled arms, bulging stomach, bald head, cross-eyed, and she was clearly mentally challenged. When I walked into that home, this little girl hobbled over and grabbed my right leg, put her whole body around my leg, and at the top of her lungs, she just screamed out, "Auntie, Auntie, 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 Aunt!" Scared me to death. And I take students with me when I go to cross-cultural experiences. And one of the kids says, "Hey, Lori, kid's got a kindred spirit with your leg." I said, "I know, and she's not letting go." Well, when you go over to Calcutta and you work in her homes, you have to do the work of the poor. So my job that day was to do laundry by hand, wring it out, and put it on the line. And as I'm doing laundry by hand, wringing it out, and put it on the line, this little girl grabbing my right leg with her whole body around it, it's at the top of her lungs, "Auntie, Auntie, 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 Auntie." After an hour and a half of me doing this laundry with this kid on my leg, "Auntie, Auntie." I thought if this mentally challenged, crippled child doesn't get off my leg, I'm going to fling her off my leg. I come all the way over to Calcutta to find out how to be compassionate. I want to fling a kid off my leg. That doesn't show my immaturity. And a sister saw me. She walked over. She said, "Lori, the leader, do you want to know why this little one calls you auntie?" "Auntie, auntie, auntie." I said, "Yeah, why is she doing that?" She said when she was maybe 3 years old, we're not sure, her mother left her in the gutter to die. But before you criticize her mother about leaving her in the gutter to die, she probably had 10 or 11 others and had no more resources left. But a lady from your country with light hair and fair skin was walking the streets of Calcutta when she looked down and saw movement in the gutter. She pushed away the grime and the grit from the gutter and pulled out of the gutter this little girl. And this lady from your country with light hair and fair skin took this little girl back to her guest house, bathed her, clothed her, and fed her. And this little one called her auntie. And there was a day that the lady from your country came to our home and knocked on our door. When we opened the door, she said, "I found this little one in the gutter. She is crippled, she's deformed, she's malnourished, and she's mentally challenged. But I have spent time cleaning her, loving her, caring for her. Would you take her into your home because my visa has run out and your country will not let me take her back with me?" And the sister said, "And when you walked into this home with your light hair and your fair skin, she thought her auntie had come back to get her. So she ran over to you and she grabbed you and she called out with all she had, 'Auntie, Auntie, Auntie,' because, Lori, the leader, you represent for her the first time anyone took her from the gutter, a statistic, and lifted her up to be a human of value and worth." She said, "Quite an honor, don't you think, to be called auntie?" I mean, that's what you call getting busted by a sister. She walks off, and I'm feeling about this big. I look at this little girl, And she just looked at me with this great big smile, and I thought, good night alive. You have nothing. You have no body. You don't have a sound mind. You don't even have a family. You have more positive attitude in your little finger than I do in my whole body. And as I'm looking at her, she goes, Auntie! Auntie! I said, I don't know if you can